Yes, sir. Welcome back. You are tuned in to the Commissioner's Conversations. This conversation right here, though, you don't want to miss. These are my guys. But guys I have the real conversations with, these are the guys that I talk to. These are some of the collective few that I trust, that I talk to, and I know they ain't gonna bullshit me. So without any further ado, I call them my offensive coordinators and my defensive coordinators, because that's really what they do. I got Coach Andrico Hines, Coach Gavin Davis. He'll give you his own nickname later on. But right now, what's happening, fellas?
How you doing, brother? Thanks for having me.
What's up, man? What's up, guy? You still
You
on mute. You still on mute.
I'm all right, bro. What's going on, man? My bad. I ain't realize I was on mute.
Yeah, it's all good. I appreciate y'all being on today. Man, I just want to really right now for the day, just since it's Super Bowl time, I kind of want to get into a couple super football topics and just discuss. I know you guys are versatile and you can talk about everything, but we'll just keep it football for this week. Like I said, it's Super Bowl week. To either one of y'all, they keep making this big deal of the Super Bowl being in Tampa and Tampa Bay playing in Tampa. Does that really mean anything? Because to me, I mean, if I'm on the road, I'm treating it just like another road game.
Go ahead, Fit.
I really, I never, me personally, I don't think it would be that big a deal. Because like you said, it's just another road game. You know what I'm saying? Then you factor in all the COVID, you know what I'm saying, the limited fans anyway. It's not really, nobody really has a home field advantage, so to speak. We had 2 weeks off. I'm not worried about the travel time. We've already been here a week. This is a home game for us too, if you look at it like that. Not that big a deal, man. I never liked playing at home when I played anyway, so I don't think it's that big a deal. I think people make more of a deal of it than it really is.
I agree. I think this it's a gift and a curse for the home team, in my opinion. Everybody's home, so everybody want to be at the game. You got people calling, reaching out. You know what I'm saying? Not saying like, the situations is different with COVID, but when you're at home, it's like everybody can reach you. When you're on the road, it's like, I mean, here in this state, it ain't realistic for me to try to go to the game. So
Right.
with the home team, in my opinion, I think it's an advantage playing, but off the field, I don't think it's an advantage.
So I also find it interesting that since I guess we in this kind of COVID protocol, that we're not getting all of the crazy stories with the media days and all that stuff. Because usually when it's Super Bowl week, you usually get a lot of stuff going on. You get all kind of interviews, and really it's like Super Bowl week, but you really wouldn't know if you're not a football fan, you really wouldn't know. But one thing I did hear, Tom Brady is kind of smelling this stuff right now and basically saying that he's thinking about playing past 45. Like it was already a stretch that he was gonna play till 45. Now you're talking about he feel good enough to play past 45. And I'm like, slow down. Cause
Let me ask you this. Why are you saying slow down?
I'm saying slow down because his last game, he looked like Jameis. The numbers look like Jameis. He was out there throwing picks.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree. But I'm saying, I'll say that to say this. He's in a new system.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at anybody that's played under Bruce Arians, they first year, they throw a lot of picks. I don't care who it is. Manning, Brady, it doesn't matter. Palmer, everybody he's had in this. I don't know if he had Palmer, but a lot of the quarterbacks that he's had throw a lot of picks in year one. They're going to be productive, but they throw a lot of interceptions. Now, I ain't saying Tom should play the 45, 48, but I do see it like another 2 years left. I think a little rejuvenated with the young receivers he got now. Never had this in his career.
I agree with that.
So I think that is the push to want to play 2 more years. I don't even think it's about proving anything at this point. It's just, I feel like you've never heard him be vocal as he's been over his career. Like it's almost like, I don't want to say what I'm about to say, but like the shackles off in.
I just read that he's been set free. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. To me, I kind of want to live a little bit. So if it's to push it, it's to push it to live, not to push it to work, if that makes sense.
I'm with you. Yeah,
I kind of want to piggyback on what Whoop said, man. I really don't. I don't see it as he getting a big head. I feel like he like you all said, he feel good about himself. Not necessarily feeling himself. He just feels good about himself. It's a new beginning for him, and they started out really well. You know what I'm saying? Why would you want to get this up right now?
Hey, man.
40, and also I want to say with all that, at the same time, he could easily, you know what I'm saying, he have a bad year and he be like, I'm through with it. So you know what I'm saying, it's like everybody want to keep going when it's going well. It don't get no better than the Super Bowl. So of course he's gonna be talking long term right now. I want to see let him go 4-12, and then you tell me if he still
No,
want
I
to play
don't
the
think that'll
47.
be the demise will be when everybody leave, when you can't pay this guy.
You can't
You
pay
can't
everybody.
pay
Yeah.
this guy. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like that's when it's time to go. When Antonio leaves and you keep Mike, but you can't pay Godwin. You know what I'm saying? That's losing this guy. Now it's time to go. But when you got Gronk and the receiver core you got right now, if they finna be here for 2 years, I want to be here for 2 years. That's kind of I think his mindset. I don't know. I can't speak for him, but as a quarterback, that'll be my mindset.
Well, I had an NBA coach tell me about guys who hang around in the league for a long time. He basically said, "You got these dudes just don't want to go home, man. You like, you married, but you don't really know your wife. And when you spend time with her, you can't wait to get back with the crew, with the squad, and do what you do on the road, and you know what I'm saying, live the NFL player life or NBA player life." I think
I look
part
at
of that
like
is the factor.
But him and like, okay, to give you an analogy or a parallel, it's like look at Drew Brees, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you look at Drew Brees, and it's like some people might feel like, well, Drew probably got at least 2 more years in him. Well, Drew can't throw it downfield. Jameis Winston threw the trick play downfield. You get what I'm saying? Like you ain't really seen him throw downfield, and I'm saying that to say Tom can still make all the throws. Yeah. That's why I'm feeling like he got 2 years left. Now, if the arm diminishing, if it's like Peyton, you struggling to get it a 12-yard out or a bench or a comeback, it's time to go. But if you can still do it and the line gonna hold up, man, do your thing, bro.
And that's the key to me, that line holding up. Because that was the key to me for Tom Brady coming in this year. Because a lot of times I was saying with Jameis, and I reference back to Jameis just because he was the QB last year, but the line wasn't always holding up, and he had to move. And a lot of the picks he was throwing because he was on the run, and he was rolling out, and he was he was making bad decisions, but it wasn't like he was standing had all the time in the world back though.
But I don't really think a lot of Jameis, it was a lot of tip balls. You get what I'm saying? Like what people won't tell you is he led the league in passing yards. Yeah. He led the league in touchdowns. But it's like we keep looking at the interceptions and that overshadow everything. I don't think that's fair on Jameis. Real talk. Like
it's definitely not fair, but we all know it's a reason why that's not brought up.
Okay, but let me say this: if Brett Favre did it, nobody would say he led the league.
And that's my point. That's my point exactly.
Well, what they did
that's my point exactly.
They matched it and they called Brett Favre a gunslinger. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knew he threw a lot of damn picks, but they called him a gunslinger as a code word for saying he threw a lot of damn picks. But if you black, you just sorry.
Exactly. You putting our team in the bad at a disadvantage. We can't accept that. But this white quarterback, he gets a chance. He's a gunslinger. We, like you said, we're gonna come up with a label so it don't sound as bad. Mm-hmm. We're gonna mask it. And that's just some of the things, unfortunately, black athletes have to overcome and still dealing with sports, but it is what it is. We can't have it can't be the end of us. We can't just, you know what I'm saying? We can't, we can't take our ball and go home, so to speak. We can't say we ain't want to participate no more. But we know we at a disadvantage. We just gotta keep going, keep proving them wrong like we've been doing.
But the only way you can really continue to prove them wrong, like, okay, I feel like this. It's a lot of college has transferred over, and it's a lot of black QBs in college.
Yes.
But they're running some type of filter that all those black quarterbacks ain't getting a shot in the league. You know what I'm saying? So they running some kind of filter. As close as we think that Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields is, they telling you that Trevor Lawrence is head and shoulders above everybody else.
I mean, but that's just what they do. I mean, I don't expect them, honestly, to make it fair. That's almost asinine.
I don't think it's about fair. These same people said Mitch Trubisky was better than Deshaun Watson. Let's remember who we talking about.
Exactly. Everybody, I mean,
I think it come down to preference, what you want and what you like. It ain't about right. If an organization feel they need somebody like a Trevor, then I feel like that's what the organization gonna do. The media gonna portray it to be he this and he that. They try to say Deshaun Watson threw a lot of interceptions. The first thing they want to say about a black quarterback is we can't read the defense and things of this nature. I just think it's about giving the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like if all we can ask for as an athlete is an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like when I feel like when Jackson got his opportunity in Baltimore, it ain't showing in the playoffs, but they gonna get to the playoffs. He gonna have a winning record. He gonna be successful. You get what I'm saying? When you get to the playoffs, to me, it's play calling at that point. Like I ain't saying you can't play, but everybody done seen you. I know what you're gonna do. You know what I'm gonna do. When are we gonna try to trick you? Like you doing the same thing every week.
And that come into play with essentially what you're saying is coaching.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But even with that, I feel like you don't get those opportunities as much because we had this whole coaching cycle. It was 7 coaches that got hired, and Deshaun Watson had to basically put a gun to the damn Texans' head to try to get a black coach, and it still wasn't the dude he wanted, but it was a black coach.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't get those opportunities. You can't get those play calls. You can't get the things that you want because you got this old white dude that only think you can just run.
Yeah, but I think Deshaun has showed this was his best year statistically, though. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he's saying, in a sense, I ball and y'all traded away all my help. You know, like you ain't talk to me about the moves you're making, where I feel like some organizations will talk to their top guy. Not all. Like right now, I don't think Green Bay communicating with Aaron Rodgers the way they should, in my opinion. You get what I'm saying? Like it ain't like they going through him to make sure he good. Some organizations don't move how they move. At the end of the day, it's business. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like as far as us getting opportunities and people getting opportunities, I agree. But I feel like in Baltimore, that system is working with the quarterback. They ain't trying to make him do something he can't do. So I will tip my hat to them for that. You don't see that. They didn't do that for Vince Young. They didn't do it for Tebow. They didn't do it for none of them people. If Tebow were to come out now, I think it'd be a whole different ball game, like real talk.
But
in my opinion.
What you mean? What you mean?
People had that accuracy like that, man.
No, see, but that's what I'm saying. They said Lamar Jackson wasn't accurate. He ain't showing he inaccurate in the league. It's about how I customize this thing for you. I can't put you in a box and say become the box. I gotta customize the box for who you are. That's the issue I felt like with the NFL. You know, it's like back in the day, it was like rookie quarterbacks didn't play. Yeah, because they just didn't let them play. It wasn't that they couldn't play. Y'all didn't let them play.
Right.
You felt like they had to come in and sit under somebody. But as soon as they start letting them play, you see Cam break the rookie record. You see Lamar do. Everybody. You see the kid from San Diego hit the touchdown record as a rookie.
Yeah, just
it ain't that nobody could do it. It's how the system has been run. Like this is the way we're gonna do things.
I agree with that.
Having certain things happen, like in this 2021. Like, come on, bro. And I agree with Tom Brady. Anytime it's a first, I think it's something pretty dope. You feel what I'm saying? Regardless of what it is. If it's a first, I think whatever the first is dope. But it's a little late in the game for this to be the first for a lot of the things that we're having. That's all I'm saying.
Now, you mentioned some earlier too with you said you believe that they are tailoring the offense around Lamar Jackson.
Correct.
I thought that he possibly should have been throwing more. I thought they were running him too much. Like, you know, explain like what am I missing?
It ain't you missing anything, but like I keep telling you, tradition, right? That's what like America, football, the SEC, all of that is built off tradition. You know what I'm saying? Traditionally, to win in the playoffs, you got to run the ball and play defense. The difference in Baltimore right now is Flacco had one of the best defenses you could throw up there. Mm-hmm. His defense, you can't name 5 people on that man defense right now. That's the difference. I ain't saying he ain't doing what he doing, but I feel like they're doing what he do best. You don't rush for 1,000. You ain't seen it happen in NFL history the way he's done it.
Right.
So to me, they're catering it for him. Like they're sticking to the things that he does well. They ain't dropping back, throwing it 30 times a game. That ain't his strength. To me, they're sticking to his strengths. But when you get to the playoffs, they trying to run the ball. They can't. Then you got to throw it. But if we go back and look in history, the Ravens win playoff game 10-7, 3-0, 13-10. It's a defensive game. It's not an offensive game. Now it's like we're looking for them to be something they never been. Now we want Baltimore to be this offensive juggernaut in the playoffs. Well, that ain't what they ever been in the playoffs. Flacco had a couple runs where he hit some folks deep late on some, I ain't gonna say it was lucky, but it was what it was. But the defense, real talk. It ain't that I don't feel like he doing nothing wrong. Do you hear the analysts, you hear Skip and all these folks, man, you need a quarterback that can throw, and you need this and you need that. Says who? You win. I don't care how you win, but it start with traditionally defense and running the ball.
Right.
That's it. I feel like they not good on defense like they've been. They've been running the ball. They throw the ball pretty well. He averaged like 28 to 32 the last 2 years. He running for 1,000. They're running the ball. So it ain't like they ain't running the ball.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where's the defense?
Oh, yeah. Like, and I just want to remind anybody out there watching who's sitting here talking and listening to us talk, that it ain't just, we ain't just a bunch of guys who just sat around like, well, I didn't play in college. These two gentlemen played in college. They've coached kids. They've seen it. They've called offenses. They called defenses. So it ain't just guys just sitting around shooting the shit ultimately.
I mean, we are, but
Coach Hines here, like I said, he has a group of quarterbacks that he's mentoring, that he's working with every week. And he got an organization called Quarterback Culture, QB Culture. Can you kind of expand on what you do day in and day out in terms of how you work with quarterbacks?
Gotcha, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, man. So I started my business, in the midst of the pandemic or right when it started. It gave me some time to sit back and
what happened?
Oh, there you go.
Hello? You can hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah. So with that being said, it's quarterback culture. I focus on, developing young men to be future leaders. It's at someday football gonna end, but I want to let them know this could be a nice vehicle to get where you're trying to go in life. You know what I'm saying? And understand that at this position, if you're a person of color, you don't have a lot of opportunities like we're talking about, but when you get them, you gotta maximize on the ones you get, and trying to let them know that life ain't fair. So let's stop looking for that. The fair come once a year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, let's stop looking for fair. Let's work ourselves into an opportunity. So just trying to give them work ethic, a foundation on, how to be a leader, how to play the position the right way. And, I got a little saying is I do it for the culture. So, I'm just trying to help quarterbacks from all ages, from youth to the pros.
And with that, you have a website too, right? It's qbculture.com?
Quarterbackculture.com. And doing pretty good on that, man. So anybody looking for quarterback training, please go to www.quarterbackculture.com and see the things that I offer. So looking forward to it. But I appreciate that opportunity though, brother.
Yeah, we appreciate you, because that's what we need though. That's when I'm talking about coaching, we need guys who are relatable to the kids that they're talking to. A lot of times, a lot of stuff goes over the young man's head because he doesn't feel like the coach relates to him.
Right.
Or you can't talk to him a certain way. That's why I salute y'all, because shoot, the last time I remember y'all two being together, I think y'all won a state championship.
Yeah.
So, like I said, you got OC and the DC, and like I said, y'all make magic. So, and I think part of that happens is because y'all are relatable to the people that you're working with. And with that's what kind of frustrated me about only one black head coach being hired, because I would assume that if you want to put yourself in a position to win as a team, if I'm a general manager, if I'm a team owner, and I want to put myself in a position to win, I want to get a guy who knows how to talk to the players and get the most out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these dudes, man, they just don't look like they would relate to anybody. Like,
Well,
there was
G,
one, say again?
well, G, we know what I'm saying. It's just like we all know, common sense ain't common, man.
Say that again.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, if you was an owner and you had a team and you were trying to win, you want the best you want to get the most out of your players, you would get a coach that relates to his players. I'm not saying it should be all black coaches. I know by no means. I know that's ridiculous to ask for. That's insane. But it's a shame that we got 30. Oh, we got 30. What is it? 32 teams in the NFL, and there's less than 5 in the black coaches. Like that's a shame. And the league is what, 75% black?
Yeah, over 75%.
So it's no way you can honestly with a straight face tell me you have the people that can most relate to your kid, you relate to your players. I'm not gonna call them kids because they're grown men at that point in the NFL. But it's no way you can honestly say, yeah, these are the people that I think relate to these young men the most.
So let me ask y'all a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
In business, if you work for a business, are they looking for relatable or are they looking for qualifications?
Should be looking for both.
Yeah, but in business, I don't have to like you to make money with you.
Now it depends on what kind of business we talking about. Because if we talk about a business,
Gordon, me and you finna make $25 million tomorrow, and we fall out after this conversation, we gonna make that money tomorrow. I don't give a damn about all that other stuff.
True.
That's all I'm saying.
But if I want if it's about production, and I could have a dude over here who's the boss, he's rah hard ass type boss, and I got this dude who don't respond well to that, and so he's not maximizing his production. I'm not getting the most out of him. He's not, whatever we producing, we making shoes. He's not gonna make the optimal amount of shoes to reach our $25 million.
All right, so let me ask you this. What is he working for? Is he working for a check or is he working for the organization?
He's working for a check.
Right. So if his paycheck right, he gonna deal with some BS.
That don't make you always want to, you're not always motivated though.
No, I'm with you, but I feel like this the issue with us being hired as black coaches, right? And I can't go to the pros. I'll take it to college. In my opinion, there's not enough black coordinators. And if I'm gonna hire you, you're at least gonna have to have coordinator experience.
Well, I can't speak for, I had to do a little more research in college, but in the pros, they were reaching for dudes in the pros. Like they were skipping over. I want black
y'all to name me 3 candidates y'all feel like are qualified without naming old boy from Kansas City. Give me 3 people without naming him.
Leslie Frazier. He was the defensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. Everybody talks about how good the Buffalo Bills defense was. Hell, and you got 2 on the other end. You got Todd Bowles, that's Tampa Bay. Everybody's sitting there talking about Tampa
I ain't
Bay.
hear Leslie Frazier name for interviews. I might have heard Bowles throw it around. So I ain't hear Caldwell. I heard Caldwell. I might think I heard. I don't hear Caldwell. The difference is the black coaches don't get second opportunities in the NFL.
I agree with that.
That's the issue.
Yeah. So, but
black coaches or black quarterbacks.
I was just getting ready to say that ties back into the QBs, like what we were talking about. When you get that, and it also loops back around to what you were saying with quarterback culture, is that when you get those opportunities, you have to maximize those opportunities because it might not be another one.
Yeah, you got to. And it ain't about race at that point. Like, it's about money. In business, they don't see race. We can see it, but it's about money to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, I get it. We can see it from a whole different lens.
I mean,
but when it's about dollars and cents, that's all I'm talking. When I want something to be like if I own a business, right? And and we change oil and I want to wear all white. And some people might think, bro, that's dumb. But this my business. I can do what I want to do because it's mine. That's what I felt Gav was saying earlier about just because they business owners or team owners don't mean they're gonna make the right decision all the time. Because ain't nobody gonna tell me in their right mind they thought Mitchell Trubisky was better than Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I agree.
Then with the Hawks, you ain't finna tell me the Williams boy was better than Chris Paul. Like, how you pass on Chris Paul?
Yeah, that's a long dumbass story too.
But that's all I'm saying. Like, just because these people in position don't mean they're gonna make the best decisions all the time. That's my point in saying that. Like, just because they owners don't mean they're gonna make the best decision. They gonna do what they feel best for their organization. That's all I'm saying.
And
but I let me say this, Gordon. I feel what you're saying, but the problem is, I feel like the problem is it seems like most of their bad decisions tend to lean toward the decision being because that guy was white.
I got you.
That's the problem people have with it. Because I agree with you. They can make their own decisions. It's their team. They bought it. They can do what they want to do with it. But they say the right thing instead of saying, "Hey, this mine." They don't tell everybody, "Hey, this mine. I'm gonna deal with it." They play the PR game and then don't follow up on it.
But Gab, even with that, I know the type of dude you are. You know the type of dude I am. I would much rather hear, "Hey, man, it's my damn team."
That's what I'm saying. I would much rather hear that, but they're not going to do that. I would much rather you come out and say, "Hey, man, this is what we're dealing with. I ain't hiring him because I don't want to."
Right.
I want my little boy to do it. That's who I want to coach the team. My team, that's what it is. But that's not, unfortunately, that's not going to make you the most money. So they're never going to say that. Because they still want to sell some tickets.
Right. I just get ready to say, that's the PR game.
Yeah, it's the PR game. So they're gonna play the PR game just because it's best for them. You know what I'm saying? They can do what they want to do, but they don't want to. They ain't finna sink the ship just because they want to do what they want to do. They're gonna keep it afloat as much as possible.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this: you feel like on the pro level, you need to have a coach that's relatable to a professional, bro?
Not necessarily relate. When I say relatable, I feel like to a certain extent, a little relatable. A little. I mean, he ain't got the opposite. Yes, everybody out here doing the job with professionals. I definitely understand that. But even in professional relationships, it's certain people you rather deal with and rather not. And we all know that yes, I can't work with you and not like you, but I would much rather work with somebody that I like.
Touche.
You know what I'm saying? That's all. And work and making sure there is no we getting the job done, but I don't like that dude. You would think you would keep cooler heads around, keep tension down by making sure people are okay with each other.
No, I just feel like you say, we're both professionals. You're here to do a job. Like, it ain't about if you like me or not. Your job is to do
I agree.
X, Y, Z, period. Like, it ain't about you liking me. All I'm doing is telling you what you feel what I'm saying? Like, that's it.
I agree. Like I said, but I'm not looking at it as the coach. I'm talking about as the owner. I'm gonna want to make sure everybody is happy-go-lucky around them. I don't want my players not liking the damn coach, but he gonna do even if he gonna do what he asked him to do. I don't want my players
let's say respect. How about
that's
that?
what I was gonna get to.
That's cool. That's fair. I don't respect that dude. Even though he still does what he's supposed to do. Even if it's that type of situation, he is totally professional about it. But he doesn't really respect the coach. But he goes out there and does his job and does it well. I would much rather my player that I'm investing in this because I'm spending way more money with this player than I am this coach. I would much more rather my player be around somebody that he respects.
So have you guys ever played or been in a position to play for a coach that you just didn't respect? You knew damn well that he didn't know what he was talking about or something along those lines.
Hey, Gordon, I feel like you asking loaded questions.
I'm gonna say this. I ain't gonna necessarily say, like, I play some arena ball, so I play for some owners. And I ain't gonna necessarily say it was dislike. You feel what I'm saying? But the energy wasn't right. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but it was a mutual respect thing. You feel what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like this or it wasn't like that. It was kind of a mutual respect. We spoke when we saw each other, but we wasn't going to eat lunch all the time. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
of course, like Gaz saying, you would want the relationship to be a little better, but it's business at the end of the day, and I don't really want my feelings to get in business. You feel what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, like I felt like in Dallas when they had to let Emmett go, it was some emotion behind it. Like Jerry got to do what he got to do as an owner, and Emmett looking like I done all this for you. You feel what I'm saying? Like at some point we got to sever this relationship. You know what I'm saying? That's it. So I don't want to get to a point where it's gonna be hard to walk away. That's it.
Well, even with that though, it sounds like it's a lot of feelings going on in Houston with Deshaun Watson because he's saying, "Hey, you promised me this."
Oh, it's
And you,
definitely. But see, that's feelings with. Well, yeah, you're right. It is. It is
Mm-hmm.
definitely some feelings. It's definitely some feelings.
Yeah, but when you
But
make it personal, they made it
when you make
personal.
it by
They made
promising
it
them
personal.
stuff, they made it personal.
You feel what I'm saying? Like what he's saying, they promised him something. So to
right.
me, it's like, hey, I'm gonna take care of you and your mama the rest of your life. Whoop, whoop. They ain't saying they said that, but if I'm telling you this, then it's like you expecting that at that point. Where if you never would say that, then I ain't even thinking about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Because
Gav, you ain't asked a question, Gav. You played for a coach. you ain't respect.
Yeah. I played for some. I played for some coaches that I didn't respect. They were actually really good coaches.
Mm.
Didn't respect them for some other reasons outside of football. I
But did
played for
that
some.
did that determine how you played? Did that
Oh
affect
no,
your
I
play
mean,
on the field?
no, it didn't. But I feel like I'm kind of an anomaly. I played for me. I didn't even care if there was no fans in the stand. I don't care.
Right. So that's what
I
I'm saying. If
played
you're
because I
a
wanted to play.
professional, I feel like that's where you are mentally as a professional. You're playing for your family and yourself, bro. It ain't about no
Yeah,
owner, it ain't about no coach.
yeah, yeah. I played for some coaches that I totally respect, but at the end of the day, they were trash. So it can go both ways.
That's it. That's all I'm saying. Like I don't play for my coach. I rock with my coach.
Yeah,
You know,
you
back
rock
in the
with
day, I feel like the
your
difference in
coach.
this generation coming up in our generation was I didn't want to let my coach down. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
that was my thing.
there ain't
I
a lot
think
of that no more.
right. It's about offers. It's about publicity. It's about being on. If depending on what level you on, if you're in the league, it's about your social media presence. It's about everything that ain't got nothing to do with what it really got something to do about, in my opinion. You know, and that don't make it right.
But like I said, to get to that point though, you still got a ball, so you still have to pay attention to the details. You still got to go out if you're a receiver. You still got to go out and get a coach
Mm-hmm.
or an instructor that's going to work with you every week and get your footwork together, get your hands together. If you're an offensive lineman, you got to do the same thing. You got to get your footwork tight. You got to get your hands tight.
Right.
You got to get your diet ready. So even with building your brand, and essentially what you're saying is a lot of these guys are focused on building a brand. Even with building that brand, what you're gonna have to do is it don't make no difference how good your social media is. If you suck on the field, then
Yeah,
Correct.
if your product isn't right, it don't matter what you do.
Don't matter, bro. Because you're living a life. You basing it off of that. You feel what I'm saying? It's based off of that. It ain't based off what it's supposed to be based off of. So when that foundation shake, you rock. You shook.
We in the instant coffee generation. Everybody's searching for some type of clout. They want all the praise right now immediately. I'm old enough, I should get it. I'm in high school, I should be getting this praise. No, I ain't worked hard. No, I ain't did nothing. I got no career catches. I play receiver. Why I ain't ranked?
For real, bro.
well,
And it's sad, you know what I'm saying? Especially coming from, we joke around a lot of times, going, us we last of the real ones. You know what I'm saying? Like the kids sometimes, man, they very very entitled, man, unwarranted. You know what I'm saying? Just you got kids that ain't even privileged, but acting privileged. Like it's, you know, it's like, man, you know, now like, where you get that from? Like, how does your mind get set that somebody owe you this?
Now, as a coach, both of you, as a coach, when you have this kid who ain't did a damn thing on the field, but he's coming out here acting like he's superstar, like he Odell Beckham, Hopkins, whoever, and do you feel like you have to humble him, or do you let the game humble him?
Go ahead, guy. I'll let you go.
You know, I coach. You know what I'm saying? I coach the big guys. I coach O-line, D-line, mostly O-line. You don't really get a lot of diva offensive linemen. So, but you will get some kids that are feeling themselves, feel like they're better than certain people, or he got to be playing me, and I most of the time when I'm coaching, Hines is my offensive coordinator. So if he let me handle it like I want to handle it, he ain't playing. It's simple as that. Game is definitely gonna teach you. Cause nothing worse than sitting on that sideline when you think you're supposed to be playing, watching somebody else play. That don't humble you. Football ain't for you.
Yeah. And to piggyback off Gavin, it's like I'm big on like letting the game humble you, you know, because when I coach quarterbacks, like I said, I was an offensive coordinator, quarterback coach. I tell my quarterbacks like my parents told me, you know, if you want to be big, bad, and bold and go out here and do your own thing, when you start having a bad game, don't look at me. You know, when we was younger, your parents say, hey man, you go out here and act foolish and you go to jail, don't call my house. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I'm telling them. Like when it go left, don't look at me because we can do it together. But if you want to be humble, the quickest way to humble you is to let this game humble you. And I'm saying that to say this. It ain't even about what happened on the field. See, that's what everybody thinks. It's the thing, you had a bad game. My point is, if you play quarterback, what's your mama hearing in the stands if you have a bad game?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody thinking about what your parents hearing. The BS it could be somebody sitting right next to them, bro.
Your girlfriend.
Talking bad about you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, a bad game don't just affect you. It affects everybody in your house if you play quarterback. So if you want to let that experience hit you, I'm going to let it hit you. Because I'm telling you, when you leave that experience, you ain't going to ever go back again. So I'm going to let you touch the eye. I done told you it was hot. You don't want to listen, then I'm going to let you touch it.
So that's always good to get that kind of perspective, because sitting in the stands, you'll see, you know, you sometimes, and it's rare especially in the NFL, it's very rare that you get the little outburst or the confrontation on the sideline. But, you know, sometimes if you're watching a high school game or you're watching a college game, you'll sometimes see that. Now, I'm always interested to think, like, what is going through the coach's mind at this particular time? Like, what do you do? How you handle it? And I think that's all about the individual, and that's what determines if you're a good coach or not.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Me and Gav was talking not too long ago. You know, we all played together in high school, right?
Right.
And to kind of go back to what you said earlier, in my opinion, a relatable coach is more beneficial in high school and college. And I'm saying that to say, if you had a relatable tight end coach or receiver coach, I think you would have really moved a football over basketball. I know where your heart was. You feel what I'm saying? But that one coach could have made you feel like, bro, I could do some shit in football. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, he got me believing in myself. That's it. That's it. To me, relatable on these levels translate way better than on a professional level. Because to me, it's finding that one kid that got all the tools, but he don't know he good as he is. He don't know it. He don't know how basketball can help him in football if he just do this or use it like that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, to me, when you find a coach that can help bring the best out of a kid on that level, that's where relating come in. You know what I mean? Most Power 5s don't get a 5-star. He can already play, bro. Like Gav say, that's instant coffee. But who getting the 3 stars and the 2 stars, and they got to develop these kids? Who can relate to them? Who can get the best out of them? That's what coaching about, in my opinion. Anybody can get a stud, you
And
know. If you started at AAU and Ant-Man was the first guy, you ain't got to do a lot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's interesting that you say that, because I was just talking a little earlier about HBCUs starting to come up. Like I didn't even know until probably maybe 2 weeks ago that they actually were still playing spring football. So I think I heard Dion, he was talking to somebody. He said, man, we got a game coming up February 21st. And I was like, damn, what?
yeah.
So I looked into it and I was like, okay, it's real. The SWAC and the MEAC, they playing. And I just want to, somebody asked me the question, and I know how I answered it, but they were saying, what do you think Dion's presence is going to do for football in HBCUs?
Oh man, I get this first, guy. I think shine a light on the issues of HBCUs.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't think people really know the issues that HBCUs have, and I'm not saying in a sense. What I'm saying is, as far as facilities and just little things that even the playing grounds. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not even close. You go to some of these schools, like I train a quarterback at Alcorn State. Yeah, All-American right now. Alcorn just opted out not to play. So that's one team in the SWAC not gonna play. So I don't know if it's more to follow. You get what I'm saying? But I think Dion would be very beneficial to the SWAC, man. I think him and his demands, like to me, when you live a certain lifestyle, you ain't going backwards.
Right.
So he not finna accept certain stuff. You feel what I'm saying? As far as from the SWAC, like y'all finna have to pick it up. And I think he a Hall of Famer. It's gonna get done. You know what I'm saying? Like, other than that, I think he's opening eyes up to make people want to be a part of HBCUs. I think it's a good thing, man. Honestly, man. I wish other people go to HBCUs and shine some light on it. Not in a negative way as far as facilities, but showing that these kids can go D1 too. We can have a program just like the other guys can have a program.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what I think Dion doing for it. Is really evening the playing fields. Like, you see a lot of the transfers he got.
Right. And what made me think about it, because you were talking about the 3, I think he picked up 4, 5, 6, somewhere around there, 3-star players. And he was saying it was like the one of the best recruiting classes that Jackson State had, and probably one of the top recruiting classes in
FCS, man. He had one of the top recruiting classes in FCS.
Yeah. So
that's major.
And to piggyback off what you said, one of the last interviews that I saw him talking about, I think it might have been on his Instagram, but he was basically saying, like, same thing. He was like, look, we got to go 15, 20 minutes away because our practice facility is flooded, because it had been raining the past couple of weeks. It's like, we got to go 15, 20 minutes away because our facilities have been flooded. We got to do something about the drainage. So making those demands, you're going to have somebody come in. You can bring in those sponsors, and a guy like Dion can bring in those sponsors.
Correct. You see him doing Subway now.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And he's still, I'm sure Jackson State is going to be sponsored by Under Armour.
Mm-hmm.
So he can bring in those sponsors that can bring in that money, that can bring in the facility, that can upgrade those facilities. What was you saying, Gal?
I was just saying, like, he definitely the type of person that can shine some lights on it, man. And also, when you bring in high recruits, you get the iron sharpens iron. So you know what I'm saying? Like those kids that may have remained stagnant, they may get better. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need better competition and better players around you to elevate yourself. And sometimes you don't get that. If you sometimes people their growth becomes stagnant because they're not being pushed just competitively, maybe in practice, anything of that nature.
Yeah, and it took me to have different experiences. Like, I'm pretty sure we all grew up around each other.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, my pops wasn't really on the HBCU kick, he was like, shoot, you're gonna go to work with white folks, you might well go to school with white people.
Right. Mine too.
So,
but I'm gonna tell you what changed. I don't mean to cut you. I'm gonna tell you what changed mine. I went to go see my quarterback play last year, and the vibe at Alcorn State, like, listen when I say this, like, just outside the stadium, before I get in the stadium now, walking around, was better than any Power 5 I've ever been to. Auburn, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, it didn't matter, bro. It was killing it because the hospitality was different. Like it was crazy, bro. Like, I can't even explain. It was so much energy around the rivalry. It was almost like an Alabama-Auburn when Southern played Alcorn and I went. I'm talking about, bro, people walking right beside each other, talking trash, but dapping each other up. It was crazy, bro. It was crazy, man. I said, I can't believe I've been missing this my whole life.
And I can echo that because like I said, once I started working in radio, like half the radio station went to Clark, Atlanta. And you know how that go. You move to Atlanta, you just don't leave.
Right.
So half the radio station worked at Clark, Atlanta. So we did a lot of events around Clark's homecoming. And same thing, like I would go and I would work these events, and we are out and we broadcasted from these events, and you look around and the atmosphere is like incredible. And I had similar experience, like, damn, like I really, like, yeah, at Georgia Southern, we had like 4,000 Black people. We had enough to have a Black school, but it still wasn't that. It still wasn't that same environment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the same. Yeah, we all cool and everybody kicked it, but it wasn't that same camaraderie. You know what I'm saying?
And to see the pride in the fraternities and the sororities, like it's different at our school, like the school I went to per se. Not saying the Qs wasn't the Qs and the Alphas and the Kappas, all that. They were who they were, but it was different. You get what I'm saying? Like, it was different, bro. It's hard to explain. It was just different. You know what I mean? Like I said, I can't believe I've really been missing this. Like, so when I came back from that experience, I started telling a lot of my kids, don't look down on it. Like, straight up, like, don't look down on HBCUs, bro. Like, I've been wrong, and I'll be the first to tell you, like, you don't have all the facilities. You don't have all of the other stuff that everybody else has. But one thing they can't take away from you is that experience of being on that campus. You know what I'm saying? And the pride that come with it. Man, I learned so much about Alcorn just riding around campus, bro. The history of Mississippi. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's the same way you're going to go to Georgia when you go to the Bud Smear building. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see the Heisman, Herschel Heisman, and all the folks in there and everything. It's different. It's that, but different. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it hit home to you more because it's you, and it's you looking at your people.
Yeah.
I mean, true indeed. Go ahead, Gav.
Yeah, like both my parents went to HBCU. So, my mom went to small HBCU, Tougaloo, right down the street from Jackson State. My dad went to Steele. So I was very aware of the, HBCU culture and things of that nature. I think I think they got a good thing going, man. It needs some other people to come in and bring some more light to it. He doesn't need to be by himself. Deion don't need to be the only guy to make this decision.
I agree with that.
But the issue in HBCUs is they recycle the same older coaches. Somebody leave Prairie View, gonna go to Grambling. He leave Grambling.
But I feel like honestly, bro, I feel like they do that because those don't look people just like you said, you look down on it. I feel like majority of football people especially in the coaching realm, you look down on you have a lot of people who would much rather be the special teams coach at LSU and be the head coach at Alcorn.
Yeah, because the difference gonna be you gonna make $250,000 being a special team coach. You probably make $70,000 at Alcorn.
I understand, but people ain't want that. But the point I'm making is like people aren't looking to further their career. Like they don't look at it as an opportunity to further their career.
Well,
they look at it as a step down.
You
it's
get stuck. They just look at like you get
well,
stuck.
it's actually
Yeah,
interesting
that's
that
what I'm
you
saying.
Yeah,
You
you're
got
right. I
people
guess.
they want them to go forward, and they feel like if they go down there, they're there. They're just there.
Yeah.
They're gonna be looked at as a HBU coach, an inferior league coach, with a lot of people. Even though they don't mind coming peeking from it now, they'll come get some athletes. You know who down there. The athletes there, but they'll come peek from it, but they want to look down on it. So once again, just one of the things that ain't fair. We just gotta keep trying to find a way to deal with it and work around it.
to your point though, Gal, I think maybe the culture may be starting to shift because I can't think of the coach's name right now. One of the coaches that the guy signed with Howard in February. And then, they didn't really have the season. They're about to play coming up. But Nick Saban tried to pull him up. They wanted him on the staff. He basically turned down Nick Saban to have a spot at Alabama staff, to stick with Howard, to go continue to coach at Howard. Same thing with a coach at FAM.
That's big. That's big.
Oh, yeah, Willie Simmons.
Yeah, Willie Simmons. Willie Simmons
big.
decided to stick around at FAM instead of going to join, what's your boy, Beamer. Decided to join Beamer up at South Carolina. They wanted Willie Simmons to be the running back coach at South Carolina, and he turned them down to stay with Florida A&M. So that breeds optimism. Essentially, is what I'm getting at. It kind of breeds optimism because, like you said, some of that has become stagnant. Some of it has gotten to be where a lot of schools, I believe, have had presidents where they didn't see the money in football. They didn't see the opportunity in football. They didn't see that light in football, because what wound up happening was there was a shift at some point in time, probably around integration, I would assume, that around integration, that a lot of these top Black athletes were going to your Power Fives, your Texases, your LSUs, your Alabamas. And so they focused on what stayed there, which was the band. So everybody for the past 30, 40 years has been talking about the band, when before you had more athletes coming out of HBCUs going into the Hall of Fame.
No, it wasn't even a Hall. It was. I think Grambling had more people in the NFL than Notre Dame at one point. You know what I'm saying? So, like you say, that's the issue. Like,
so that was one thing. I'm glad that we got around to that. That wasn't even. I told me I had a checklist. That wasn't even on my checklist, but I'm glad we got around to that in terms of talking about it. But before I let y'all go, man, I want to get into real quick. We didn't get anybody's prediction for what is going to take place on Sunday. The young GOAT, the old GOAT. Who you got?
Go ahead, Gal.
Nah, you've been sending me first every time. You go first.
I say this. Me and Gavin had a conversation about 2-3 days ago, right? And I'm gonna make it short and sweet. I'm gonna try to. I said a couple years ago, Russell Wilson was in the same position Patrick Mahomes in.
True.
So before we crown him, let's let the game be over. Because if Russell complete the pass, we still probably want to be talking about Mahomes, like real talk. I ain't saying he ain't doing his thing, but I feel like Russell, they'd have passed him the crown at that point. This right here is Michael Jordan, that is, hey, like, he old, but he got some hitters with him. And you got that young Bron over there, that young Kobe coming with it. But I can't bet against Jordan, bro.
Okay.
I can't go against Brady, dog. Like, I hope Mahomes win, you know what I'm saying, for the Black quarterbacks and all that good stuff. But what I seen Brady do in my lifetime, like, man, come on, man. And I just feel like this, the bad game out the way. He threw 3 last week. You think he finna throw 3 again?
Yeah, I can't imagine it.
I just don't see 3 back-to-back weeks, bro. 3 picks in 2 weeks in a row. I don't see it. I got Tampa Bay by 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh man, this is a hard one. Like you said, man, it's hard to bet against Brady. I usually don't. You know,
And Tyreek Hill special though, man.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, you got Tyreek Hill, Kelsey, and they say Watkins playing like Watkins can mess around and be the MVP.
Man, Antonio Brown can mess around and be the MVP.
That's true too. I'm just saying.
I hope they don't try to force it to Antonio too, though.
I don't think they have. I don't think they will.
There's a lot of weapons out there on both sides.
Brady will go 2 quarters and won't even throwing the ball.
Yeah. I think when he first got signed, they tried to involve him until they
did that first game. They stopped that though.
Well, he had some injuries too. But yes, like Brady has learned to spread the ball around a whole lot better and use his weapons.
The key gonna be this: how they play Tyrann Matthew.
Okay. So
they gonna play him on Grunt, or you gonna play him on a receiver?
I would almost have to play him on a receiver.
Then who? I feel like your number, bro. You ain't finna go. I ain't saying Grunt, the old Grunt, but I don't see nobody else finna guard him, bro.
I essentially said the same thing on the podcast. I said, if you're asking me, Grunt is going to be the X factor because he's going to probably wound up with about 15 catches.
It all doesn't depend on who Tyrann gonna play. That's what I'm saying. If Tyrann Matthews play Grunt, I like Tyrann over Grunt. But now you free up Godwin and you free up somebody else to go to work now.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing on the other side of the ball. How you gonna play Tyreek Hill?
Well, I mean, with that, you got Kelsey over there who's gonna eat.
My point is that it's the same thing. You got 2 tight ends and 2 receivers. Like they got the same thing, bro.
Yeah.
Man.
They just ain't fast as Kansas City.
Yeah, but that speed make a difference, man. That speed make a real difference. It make you think you gotta second guess everything. Like you have to be on your.
No, trust me, I'm with you, but
like you bailing every play. All the real, you bailing. You got to
trust me, bro. Look, bro, trust me. Tyreek Hill is the.
But it ain't just Tyreek. That McCole Hardman run by you too.
Yeah, but Tyreek the cheat code, bro. Like,
yeah, because he really a real receiver now. Like he didn't really.
That's like when you want himself. When you playing country and you put that up, down, left, right in. That's what he is.
So, Gav, what's your score?
I agree. I just really feel like I don't feel like it's gonna be close though. I feel like whoever win, I really would rather say whoever win, they're gonna win by more than 10. But if I had to pick somebody, I'm taking the young boy, man. I'm taking my own boy.
Okay. And I can't remember what exactly the score I said on podcast, but I did say Kansas City just because I thought that it's going to be hard. You know, Kansas City gonna put up scores in numbers, you know what I'm saying, in bunches, but it's gonna be hard. If Tampa Bay get caught up playing the field goal game, then they lost. You know what I'm saying? They putting up 7s while you putting up 3s, it's over.
I agree, bro. I'm just telling you, I just feel like it ain't finna come to a shootout though. Fournette finna get live. Like I ain't saying he finna control the game or nothing, but they got a run game. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the thing too. If they control the game like that, then I mean that play right into Tom Brady's hands.
The key to the game is Chris Jones. If Chris Jones has a big game.
But see, they've been stopping him. You ain't finna run the ball on Tampa Bay, though. I don't think you just finna run the ball on Tampa Bay, bro.
But what's name don't want to run the ball, so it don't matter. They don't care.
We talking about Kansas
City. But I just don't think you finna drop back and win 50, throwing them up 50 times and beat Tom Brady, bro.
Well, we see all the different little nuances that they throw in the game. They got the little underneath screens. I think you're gonna see a lot of those.
A lot of that. Yeah, I feel like they're gonna screen them and they're gonna scream and they're gonna jet him and then they're gonna jet him and revert jet and
I'm with you, but I ain't saying they ain't gonna do all that. I'm with y'all, bro. Trust me. Like I'm with y'all. But one thing I know about football, the game won up front. And
I agree.
That front seven,
that's why I said. That's why I said Chris Jones. I feel like he's the best D lineman playing Sunday.
So yeah, but it's gonna be an interesting one, and I want to have y'all back, man, when we get on the other side of it, so we can talk about where it went wrong for whoever. And I told your ass that it was gonna be this and that. So, but yeah, so next week we'll look forward to be doing it. We get back in on it, and we can talk about it some more with a variety of other topics. Cause we can get it, like I said. I know y'all basketball guys too, so you know NBA season is underway. Sure, we
Reed, man. I'm a Kyrie guy. Gal don't like that. But go ahead, go throw that jab in, man.
Yeah. So we can
How you gonna say I don't like Kyrie, man?
Because you don't.
Say you don't like Kyrie, guy.
It ain't that I don't like Kyrie. I love Kyrie game. I just feel like he the best 21 player in the league.
See what I'm saying? Backhanded compliment. That's all I'm saying, man. Come on, man.
Well, for the longest though, Gab, that was me on James Harden.
I agree.
I said about James Harden. He the best 21 player. If we playing a game of 21, I pick James all day. But like I said, we'll get into that next week. We'll go into that next week. Everybody looking at me like they ready to eat.
Like, nigga, what you doing about this?
Hit me with the wrap-up box. Well, yeah.
Wrap it up, B.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all, man.
Man, appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, like I said, can't wait to do it again. We'll come back out after everything all said and done. And you know what I'm saying? We'll do it again right here on the Commissioner's Conversation.
Bet.